Yeah, the next interview is going to be sounding like we are homers, but it's just on one side. I understand there's two teams playing on Monday night. Mark Amadeo may not. But, we were talking about Coach Blatt and the outstanding record he has. He's got nothing on this guy because Greg Bonnett's the only unbeaten coach in the history of high school football heading into this playoff game. He's never lost a game in his career. Coach Bonnett, how are you? Congratulations on a great year.
Amadeo had to make you say that.
Just like I wrote it, Coach.
But it's the truth. It's the truth. What a great first season. A record for Prairie City Monroe, an 11-0 record on this regular season into the playoffs. Coach Bonnett, your kids have performed outstanding.
Well, they're great kids. They really are. They really got after it this year. They bought into what I was trying to preach, and they're just playing really well and flying around right now, and I think having a great time doing it.
Well, Coach, the obviously it's intensity. When you came over from Dowling Catholic and you came back home to Prairie City Monroe, it's got to feel very good for you. But also, you brought that intensity with it. You've seen how football should be played. You know how it should be played, and you tried, and you've done this with these kids. Have brought that in. They bought into the intensity, and of course, the thing I like to say, and I think this is great, just the 6 seconds of football that you talk about, and maybe share that a little bit with our listeners.
I think I stole that from somewhere. So.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where it came from originally, but I just really believe it. You look at the game of football, and it's not, to me, it doesn't break down to quarters. It breaks down on your individual effort on each play. And each play, for a good play will take you about 6 seconds, and this was the whole science behind it. And the more I start thinking about it, heck, it's 6 seconds a rep. You go out there, if you can focus for 6 seconds this time, and then the next time, and then the next time, you'll add all those up, and the wins and losses, they'll just take care of themselves.
Well, Coach, this is Coach Greg Bonnett of the Prairie City Monroe Mustangs. I may not have introduced him properly because I was trying to make some, the introduction that Mark wanted me to give. But, of course, they get set to take on West Marshall of State Center in the Class 2A quarterfinals on Monday night. Boy, two teams with unbeaten, unblemished records. No matter what happens, it's been an outstanding year. But, this is what playoff football is all about, Coach. And, unfortunately, two unbeatens do have to meet prior to getting to the Unidome.
Well, that happens everywhere, so you can't complain about that. But, we've been watching these guys since week one because they played Madrid in week one. And we recognized them right away. It's like, wow, they have some weapons. They look pretty good. They're physical. And, we watched them, and we said to ourselves in about week 3, wouldn't it be awesome if we were playing West Marshall at our place because we won every single game. So, the atmosphere, the game is set up to be a great game. I think our guys are ready to go. Their guys are ready to go, and it's just it couldn't be better. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
Well, Coach, anybody who knows Mustang football, one of the names we talked about, Harlan Sports, an Osborne name, and the Burns name is very synonymous over there at Prairie City Monroe, and Hutch Burns has been a total leader for you this season.
Some guy told me there's been a Burns at Prairie City Monroe since the Reagan administration, and I think they might be right.
They might be.
I think they might be right. But, Hutch Burns, he's just another one in the lineage. He's broken every single record here at PCM, career rushing per season. Just a tough kid. He plays both ways. He plays some special teams. He's stocky. I wouldn't necessarily call him short, but he's stocky. He's quick. He can really connect the dots and cut back on you, and then he can also power you over. So he's a weapon, no doubt.
Well, Coach, talk a little about, obviously, the coaching at 2A, coming from Class 4A. You mentioned something the other night, and I thought very interesting. You're talking about play. Everybody kind of runs the same plays. You run the spread offense. You brought that with you. But the execution, and yet some of these kids turn around, they're playing defense. And, how does that go into a game? Because, when you're coaching maybe at the 4A level, there you have two platoon. You just have your defensive guys, and you have your offensive guys, maybe your special team guys. But in 2A and 1A in the smaller schools, they all play every position. They're on the field goal, special units. You got to coach them all.
You really do. And it's tricky because you don't get a double platoon in practice or anything like that, so you kind of have to split your day into, kind of a day where you do both things, and then a day where you focus mainly on offense and only do 10 plays of defense, and then a day where you do defense and only 10 plays of offense. So you don't get necessarily all the in-depth coaching, but then at the same time, in 4A, because they do that, there's a lot more plays that other teams are throwing at you too. When we watch film, you might see a total of 10 plays, whereas at Dowling, if we watch film, you might see a total of 25 plays. So, it all kind of balances out in terms of scheme.
Oh, it certainly does. And Coach, I know when you took over at PCM, you had a couple of linemen go down. Dallas Thurman came out of camp. He was injured. You were counting on him. And then throughout the season, about a couple games in the season, Zach Waddell went down. So you've had to step up. You've had some offense and defensive linemen really step up. And I think that's been the key success to the Hutch Burns and your quarterback, Joel Wiggins, and that on offense and on defense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thurman, he never really got started, and he was looking really good in the off season, and he was lifting weights and moving his feet really well, so that was too bad about him. But then Waddell, he came out, we moved him to a defensive line position, and he was our best guy. I mean, he was out there just making plays everywhere, and he tore his ACL, so he was done. But, you're right, we had guys like McAtee, he stepped up to play defense. Neff, as a young kid, he stepped in there and took in some reps, and then on the offensive side of the ball, that right tackle spot, as it just kept on getting dinged and dinged. But, Spears has been playing there. Timmons has rotated there. McAtee's been playing there. But, Spears has really been holding it down for us. So my hat's off to those guys. They did a great job.
Well, Coach, before we let you go here, I just got to say one thing. I've heard the stories about the guy's father. He's sitting across from me, but the kid's outplayed his father for sure, Alex Amadeo. We got to give him a shout-out, huh?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. That kid has outplayed his father. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the backup, Coach. You didn't have to agree with my partner here, but Greg, you've done a great job, and I know we wish success, and obviously Monday night's a big game. How are you handling the athletic director part of this? You've got some media coming to town on Monday, including our own Mike Filazzo from Friday Night Live, it sounds like. But that's a different hat you're wearing there at PCM.
Those media guys could fend for themselves. I already told you this, Amadeo. I already told you this.
Yeah, he's got me broadcasting out of the truck in the cornfield to the east of the school. That's what he's got me, Tony.
Just slurp that duty to Amadeo this week, Coach. He'll handle it.
It's a high elevation, flat cornfield. He'll be fine.
All right.
Hey, the AD job is tricky though. It really is. Most people don't know, but I teach for half the day, so I teach till 12:40 every day. Then I have to try to slam everything in before practice. But once football season's over, all that'll kind of take care of itself. But yeah, I'm swimming a little bit right now, but nothing I can't handle.
Well, enjoy the moment, Coach. It's been an outstanding season, win or lose. Congratulations, and we wish you the best of luck and the best of health as you advance here in the playoffs on Monday night against West Marshall of State Center in the 2A quarterfinals.
Thank you.
All right, head coach Greg Bonnett of the Prairie City Monroe Mustangs, home of Mark Amadeo's son.
Yeah, just like I wrote it. Nice job, Tony.
Take a break. We'll come back with more of the Iowa Sports Connection show on the ISC Radio and Television Network.